I am here today on a beautiful sunny Virginia day at the generous permission of my buddy Diggin' Doug. Doug, you've hunted here before.
Yes.
Shows some promise. We're kind of exploring.
It's a big place.
Yeah. So I've come northwest today. We're still in Virginia. We're going to see what we can do, and hopefully we'll have some great stuff to show you in about 3 minutes.
Probably some cans
And some nuts and bolts and farm junk.
until we go.
Yeah, well, we'll keep our expectations low, so when that U.S. plate pops out, it'll be a nice surprise. All right, let's go hunting. All right. All right, I wish I could say this is the first target of the day, but it ain't. Dug quite a bit of aluminum already. This sounds pretty nice, and it's deep.
What you got so far, aluminum?
Yep, aluminum full, but this is a little deeper.
I bet you where the house sits right there would be a good spot. On that hill, that house right there.
Yeah.
See how it's all highly elevated over there?
Oh, yeah.
Right there? It's right there.
Yeah, you were right. It's right there. It's aluminum, I think.
Oh my goodness.
It's just a crushed up can, I think. Yeah.
Put that in your collection.
This is the nicest one I
It's
found.
got a good form to it.
Yeah, it
Somebody
does.
knew what they're doing when they squashed it.
I got a comedian I'm relic hunting with. All right, I thought I had another piece of aluminum, but I see green right there, and it looks round. So what do you think? What happened to it? Where the heck did it go? There it is. Oh, that looks like a button. That's a button. I don't think that's military, but if it is, it's one I've never seen. I got a two-piece with some silver wash on it. What is that? It looks like an eagle.
There's an eagle.
And I see the eagle. I'm just hoping. I just don't want it to be civilian.
I can't read it right, but it does have silver gill on it.
So I came back to the truck to get some glasses and magnification, and it says Washington D.C. and it's got traces of silver wash on it. So I'm thinking either a police button. I'd love it to be associated with the Washington Guard or something like that. Anyway, hopefully I'll learn a little bit more about this soon. Yep. Makes you wonder where it ran during the Civil War. Because it's probably changed course 100 times. So we've come a little closer to Fredericksburg. I've been hunting in this little creek here. And down in the creek, this thing looks like a wedge out of a hammer or an axe. And I got another good signal right here. This is all real close to a spot that Doug and I came to maybe a year ago. I found about 20 fired bullets in one hole, which has baffled me ever since. And at the end of this video, I'll show you those bullets. All of them were high impact. There was 3-ringers, there was cleaners, there was infields. That thing has baffled me for a long time. Now that appears to be another fired bullet. This little creek has really been a mystery to me. A lot of fired high impact bullets. So definitely a fired 3-ringer. You can see the 3 rings there in the cavity of the bullet. Look how deformed that bullet is. Very high impact. As my friend Mud Duck would say, I seem to have gotten myself into a little spot. It's definitely a good signal. There, it ought to be right on it. There he is. There's a fired 3-ringer. We're finding bullets in this creek here. We're still along this little creek here. The spot is very near the biggest mystery I've ever encountered, which I will show you at the end of this video. Alright, we ought to be close. I'm just digging with my hands here. Maybe feel something right there. It's another fired 3-ringer. And that one you can see the ramrod mark in the top of it. Very clear hammer mark on top. When I say hammer, I mean the ramrod hitting it. Very good signal right there in the side of the creek. That may have a little depth to it. Whatever it is, it's in my hand somewhere. Right there, I think. Yep. That would be another bullet, I think. All of these bullets are high impact. I think I'm going to call this Fired Bullet Creek. Okay, 3 feet from that last deformed bullet I found in the side of the creek bank. Sounds like it's got a little depth to it. Very rooty. Of course, if you're digging down in a swampy area, it's gonna be rooty. What? It's still there, but it's much, much weaker, which is counterintuitive. You would expect it to be louder once you've removed the dirt. Right there. I think maybe I feel it now. Yep. All right, there's another one. Fired 3-ring Civil War bullet down in this Fredericksburg Creek. You'd love to know the stories behind the things that you find. And you never will on most of them. I dug another 3-ringer in the bank right there. So that makes about 4 right in this little area. But this I have to show you. It's a great relic hunting lesson. Okay, there's a hole over to the left. It's this hole. This is an older relic hunter's hole. There's a hole right there. There's a hole right there. There's a hole right there. I got a signal there, right beside the hole. He dug here, I dug here. Literally 2 inches down, there's another fired 3-ringer. But I just thought, what a great relic hunting lesson. Just because you see somebody else's holes, don't ignore it. This was right beside it, for crying out loud. Cover the guy's holes that came before you. Cover for him, because if not, the landowner might think you're the guy who left the hole.
Finding bullets.
How many you got?
5, 6, 7.
Me too. And most of them in this creek.
Yeah.
All right, Digging Doug has got a signal in the creek. Got one?
That's a shot bullet. Maybe it might be a round ball.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I see rings.
Maybe.
You got a heavy ramrod mark in there. That's Doug's, part of Doug's take for the day. That's what I got for the morning. Why? What is that? A piece of lead in a wedge shape like that? What would that be? Doug's got a big old piece of iron in there.
I need stitches.
I'm telling you what.
I need stitches.
That man suffers for his hobby. I love watching other people dig holes. Are you kidding me?
Nope. What the heck? Oh, look.
Oh my goodness. That's probably Robert E. Lee's
Nose picker.
There you go. Doug's right up the hill from me. He's digging a signal. Creek down here. I didn't realize Fredericksburg was this rocky. Uh-oh. You got a button? A what? All right, we're gonna take a pause.
Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. Look like it's shaped like a heart, doesn't it?
Looks to me like it's got ears, like a cat.
A wampus cat.
A wampus cat. You never know what you're gonna find out in the middle of nowhere.
I don't want to lose my diamonds though.
Look at that now. Sure is pretty. Look at that. I hope they're real.
They sure do sparkle a lot.
Yeah, they do. A piece of jewelry down here. All right, we ought to be close here.
You had a good 85 here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's under that root apparently.
Oh,
I think it's a bullet. Oh yeah. Oh, finally got a dropped one.
there you go. Could be a bottom bullet. I don't know. I can't see it. I don't think it is. It might be.
Shot bullet hit something, no question about that. Well, Digging Doug headed out. He had to quit a little early. I came to another part of the farm. What is this? That's a big old hunk of iron, but that's far too straight for it to be an artillery shell fragment. I'm glad all you fellow battlefield walkers stayed around for this long, because I've got, I think, an interesting story to tell. At least it's one that's kept me up at night and I've wondered about for quite some time. I had a great time hunting today with my friend Doug, and we dug some lead down on the outskirts of Fredericksburg. And this is the second time we've been to this farm. And what's strange about it is we always found lots of fired bullets, and the fired bullets are heavily deformed. Normally on a battlefield, you'll find a few heavily deformed. You'll find some that look like they just tumbled to a stop and you can barely even tell they're fired, and you'll find some drop bullets. But on this particular farm, we're finding fired bullets almost exclusively, and they're heavily deformed. We hunted all over this very large property. Everything we found was where we were hunting today. Everything is in this steep creek bottom. I was hunting along and not finding a thing. I mean, just nothing. And I was really covering this creek bottom area right here really, really well and finding nothing. Well, I get a signal and I dig down and it goes pretty deep, and probably 12 to 14 inches down, I pull out a fired bullet. I stand up, as is my habit. Before I cover the hole up, I go over it again, and there's another signal, and I went down again and dug a little further, found another fired bullet. The same thing kept happening. I kept checking the hole, and I found a whole pile of bullets. I normally don't display fired bullets in a display case, but I kept these all together for a reason. And here they are in my display. I found 19 fired bullets in one hole. And I'm talking about, I don't mean one area, I mean one hole. But what really intrigued me about it is, mixed into all these bullets was at least one round ball, several Confederate Gardners, several Union 3-ringers, and several cleaner bullets. Why would all these fired bullets, also heavily deformed fired bullets, why would they all be in one little hole the size of a bucket? I have thought about this. I've asked my friends. A couple of the explanations are certainly possible, plausible. One guy said, well, maybe there was a depression in the creek and the bullets washed down and they all rested in the same little depression in the creek. Lead bullets, it takes a torrent to wash them downstream, and for them all to collect in one place doesn't make any sense to me. Somebody else said, you know, when the soldiers would come back into the camp, they would unload their muskets and they either had to pull the bullets or simply point their guns toward the ground and fire the bullets into the ground. That's possible as well. But gardeners and cleaners and three ringers, and all in a spot like this, I can't imagine everybody coming down and deciding we're going to shoot into the same hole. All of us. That doesn't make sense to me. Someone said, what if there was a little field hospital down near the creek? And I thought, well, you'd want water where you were operating on soldiers. What if someone was working there and they were pulling bullets out of soldiers? And that would explain three ringers and cleaners and gardeners. And they were pulling bullets out of soldiers and they threw them in a pan, and at the end of their little shift or whatever, they just took the pan out and just turned it over and tossed it, and they all fell there together. And that's the most plausible explanation that I can think of. But even then, I would think if you were doing outdoor meatball surgery, you probably wouldn't be throwing the bullets into one container or pan. You'd probably pull the bullet out of the soldier and throw it over your shoulder, especially, in wartime. But to find all these mangled bullets all together in one little hole, and to have at least three different types of bullets, both Union and Confederate, has just been such a mystery to me. And then to go back today and find more bullets. What have I got there? Probably 8 or 10 more bullets. And a good bit of them are heavily impact, highly mangled bullets. I don't get it at all. That's certainly part of the fun of relic hunting, trying to figure out what happened and why you have what you have. Anyway, that's the story of today. I don't get to hunt Fredericksburg very often, so being able to go there with Doug was a real treat. I'm hoping to get to go to Petersburg before it gets too hot. I'm planning a trip back to Cold Harbor before it gets too hot. And I hope you enjoyed this video, as I hope you enjoy the rest of the channel. If you do, please subscribe and you'll see them all. Even more important than subscription, I love it when you comment and tell me what you think of what I found, or maybe something that you have a different idea than I do, and especially regarding this little mystery. I'd love to see 100 comments with you guys giving me your theories about these heavily deformed, mangled bullets all in one area. And the bullets aren't deep, so it doesn't look like the place has been hunted a lot, and I can't figure out why. I'd love to hear your theory. Anyway, I'm the Battlefield Walker, and I hope you'll join me for the next video. Until we meet again, be good and say your prayers.